Slick.
Wait till that mother start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit that mother body.
Look how slick, Mike. Look how slick he is.
Oh,
In August of 2024 against Israel Madrid to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
Crawford, I think, gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go around.
Mike Tyson has issued a stark warning to Terence Crawford after seeing him face off with Canelo Alvarez at the press conference. Tyson claims Crawford is simply too small to stand a chance against the Mexican champion, dismissing any realistic possibility of victory. He also questioned fan interest in the matchup, adding extra heat to the pre-fight debate over whether the bout should even take place.
Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion, with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Gabe Rosado, a respected veteran in boxing, weighed in on a potential showdown between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While praising Crawford's technical skill, sharp movement, and precision, Rosado doubts he has the punching power to truly trouble Canelo. He noted that Alvarez has endured shots from some of sport's most dangerous punchers without faltering, making it unlikely Crawford could cause serious damage. For Rosado, the biggest obstacle lies in the stark difference in physical strength and durability between the two. Against a fighter as strong, seasoned, and physically imposing as Canelo, Rosado believes Crawford's skill set alone might not be enough to secure victory in such a high-stakes match.
So I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo. Because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev. He's been in there with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels complete. Because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like no disrespect, but it just feels like you're hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147, but if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power. I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like a pillow.
Boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult offered a blunt assessment of the potential Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez clash, stating he does not see Crawford winning. He pointed to the size, strength, and stylistic disadvantages Crawford would face, noting that Canelo's vast experience against elite opponents across multiple weight classes has armed with tools to neutralize fighters like Crawford. While recognizing Crawford's versatility and high boxing IQ, Showbiz argued those attributes alone wouldn't be enough to overcome Canelo's power and masterful ring control. In his view, the bout heavily favors Canelo, and Crawford would need to deliver something truly extraordinary to alter the expected outcome.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who got Canelo Crawford?
Yeah, Canelo.
I heard the punches that he hit Charlo. I don't know if Crawford can throw those punches. I know he's a great force. When you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo, I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great that he can do that, or that means that Charlo is the bars are damn low, that anybody could do better than Charlo did that.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia voiced serious concerns over Terence Crawford's decision to add significant weight for a showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Garcia warned that rapid or substantial weight gain can negatively impact a fighter's speed, stamina, and overall sharpness, qualities that have long been among Crawford's greatest assets. He cautioned that the added mass could slow Crawford down, stripping him of his quickness advantage. Addressing comparisons of Floyd Mayweather, Garcia dismissed them as misguided, noting that Mayweather never bulked up in this manner to face larger opponents. Instead, Floyd relied on speed, precision, and technique, not added size. Garcia believed that competing at a much higher weight brings unique physical challenges that could leave Crawford at a disadvantage before the fight even begins.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You guys were just mentioning it right now that Crawford, Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have the same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger.
Gary Antoana offered strong praise for Canelo Alvarez's complete command of his boxing style, calling him a fighter who fully understands his strengths and knows how to exploit them to the fullest. Antoana argued that Terence Crawford cannot simply dismantle what Canelo has spent years perfecting. From slick defensive head movement to precise counterpunches and punishing body shots, Canelo's skill set has been honed against elite competition. While acknowledging Crawford's adaptability and ring intelligence, Antoana emphasized that Canelo's ability to consistently impose his style makes him a uniquely difficult opponent. He added that once a fighter reaches Canelo's level of confidence and efficiency, disrupting that rhythm becomes one of the toughest challenges in the sport.
He has mastered his style. Typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's freakishly good. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox. And I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. We're talking about not 12-round shape. We're talking about 16-round shape.
Former world champion Chris Algieri shed light on the difficulties fighters face when moving up in weight. He explained that adding size alters how a boxer feels in the ring, impacting timing, movement, and endurance. Algieri pointed out that while Terence Crawford may appear bigger on fight night, the extra weight doesn't automatically mean more strength or power. Competing in an unfamiliar weight is especially challenging against an opponent who thrives at that size. Though he acknowledged Crawford's world-class skill set, Algieri warned that adapting to a heavier frame could affect his performance, particularly in the later rounds, when stamina and conditioning often determine the outcome of high-level fights.
That's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said. You're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, and he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight. We see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this: if we look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill, and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long, and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they fought.
A boxing analyst took a firm stance that Canelo Alvarez will not lose to Terence Crawford, citing a simple reason. Crawford cannot hurt him without the power to earn Canelo's respect. The analyst argued the fight would quickly turn into an uphill battle. He added that the physical gap between them makes it unlikely Crawford could absorb Canelo's heavy shots over 12 rounds. With a proven chin, superior strength, and the ability to control range, Canelo could keep Crawford from mounting a consistent offense. While acknowledging Crawford's achievements, the analyst predicted that Canelo's physicality and resilience would ultimately be the deciding factors.
He said that he sparred Canelo Alvarez, and he hit Canelo Alvarez with his best shot. His best shot is power punch. Yeah, he's smaller than Canelo Alvarez, but let me further explain. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing. Now, because some of y'all gonna be like, well, yo, that's Virgil Ortiz, he's smaller. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Crawford. Kovalev killed him anyway. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Danny Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demobilized like that before. He just got outboxed. It didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how he say, I am Mike Tyson. Love Canelo Alvarez, that's an I am shit. Canelo, Terence Crawford, and also, put it this way, after the fight with Janelle Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Janelle Charlo. Janelle Charlo basically saying that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Janelle Charlo was Iron Man Janelle Charlo, the 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. For the likes of Kirkland, that was known for power.
Willie D., former boxer and commentator, offered a detailed assessment of the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup. He noted that Canelo is younger than Crawford, a factor that can be crucial in boxing, influencing speed, reflexes, and recovery. Willie D. also pointed out Canelo's height advantage, which could help him control distance and set the pace of the fight. He emphasized that age and size are not just statistics. They directly impact a fighter's ability to absorb punishment and maintain sharpness. In his view, Crawford would enter the bout facing significant disadvantages even before skill is considered, making the challenge especially daunting.
Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo, because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height. Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach. Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records. Canelo is 63 2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024, where he defeated Israel Madrima.
John Ryder, having shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez, offered a frank evaluation of how a showdown with Terence Crawford could play out. Speaking from experience, Ryder described Canelo's style as one of relentless yet calculated pressure, designed to gradually wear opponents down both physically and mentally. He stressed that Canelo's greatest asset isn't just his power, but his ability to sustain a punishing pace while dictating the fight's rhythm. Even highly skilled, determined fighters often struggle when every exchange tests their endurance and resilience. Ryder acknowledged Crawford's sharp technique and competitive mindset, but questioned whether they would be enough to withstand that kind of sustained assault over 12 rounds. In his view, Canelo's blend of physical strength, tactical pressure, and vast championship experience could ultimately overwhelm Crawford, making the fight an uphill battle from start to finish.
You just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. I stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. I think the weight will play a factor in the fight, but listen, Canelo once done it and made a step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like, some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw him at Chicago Touch. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters. But why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160, or maybe another one at 168?
He needs to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, he's still developing and growing into that weight. He could have done it with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush, so he's not going to be fully, he's not going to have time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges, so it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there, but like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. Watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While much of the conversation favors Canelo Alvarez, Coach Anthony offered a more measured perspective. He acknowledged that Canelo is naturally bigger and more experienced at higher weight classes, but cautioned against underestimating Terence Crawford. Anthony highlighted Crawford's ring IQ, adaptability, and ability to switch stances as factors that could pose unique challenges. He noted that while Canelo has faced many elite opponents, Crawford's mix of timing, angles, and finishing instinct makes him a genuine threat. In Anthony's view, writing Crawford off completely would be a mistake, as his versatile skill set could create crucial openings even against a champion of Canelo's.
But we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147-pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147-pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth that Andre Ward, the Floyd Mayweather. So you only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that had that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, we want to break it down fundamentally. Don't get me wrong. Canelo is a strong fighter. He's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now don't get me wrong, he's a little bit wider, he's a little bit, thicker, right? Like as far as his frame goes. But we gotta be honest here, man. He's not that, it's not like we're fighting Benavidez here. Okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off, he can still use his footwork, he can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of his punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is gonna be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that.
Who's your pick for this epic showdown? Share your prediction in the comments and join the debate